You're listening to Swift News, your daily news briefing in just 10 minutes. From global events to politics, business, entertainment, and more, we bring you the top headlines from trusted sources so you can stay informed fast. This is episode 5, and it's May 8th, 2025. Let's get into today's stories. Okay, so today we're diving into some major global shifts. Think trade talks, leadership changes, and how that might ripple out.
Absolutely, and those ripples can definitely affect, everyday life. We're talking potential price changes, market moves.
Right. Plus, we'll touch on situations in Gaza, protests here in the U.S., and even an interesting mineral deal involving Ukraine. Lots happening.
It really is. Let's start with those U.S.-China trade talks. Scott Bessent is leading for the U.S.
Yeah, and you've got Trump's tariff threats hanging over everything. China's saying they'll retaliate, of course.
Which, brings back worries about a full-blown trade war. And if that happens, well, that's where you might see prices climb.
For things like electronics, clothes.
Exactly. Everyday stuff. It's not just abstract economics. It could hit your wallet directly.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, but sticking with global politics. Germany. They've got a new chancellor, Friedrich Merz.
Just went in. He's promising economic reforms, but also, interestingly, a very pro-U.S. stance.
Which could mean, what, a stronger NATO?
Potentially, yes. But he's also talking budget cuts, and that's already causing some unrest domestically.
So stability, but maybe some internal tension. How does that play out for, say, investments?
Well, any kind of volatility in a major economy like Germany can definitely cause ripples in global markets. So, yeah, something to watch for your investments for the wider economic picture.
Got it. Okay, let's look at the Middle East. There are talks between the U.S. and Israel about the U.S. possibly leading a post-war administration in Gaza.
That's the discussion, yes. It's complex, obviously. But if the U.S. did take a lead role like that, well, that's a huge undertaking.
And expensive, presumably.
Very. Think long-term commitment, significant funding. You have to wonder how that might eventually affect things like U.S. taxes, budget priorities.
Right, a major potential commitment. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., May Day saw quite a few protests.
Yeah, thousands in different cities, mainly focused on immigration and worker policies under Trump.
Organizers were pretty vocal, calling it a war on working people.
It definitely highlights some ongoing tensions, within communities about these policies.
And staying with international dealings for a second, that Ukraine mineral deal with the U.S. sounds like it's hit a snag.
It has. Apparently, Trump is asking for some concessions, which is holding things up.
And why does that matter broadly? What's the potential impact?
Well, one possible consequence, if that deal stalls or falls through, could actually be related to food prices. Some analysts see a link there, potentially pushing costs up.
Huh, okay. So minerals impacting groceries. Interesting connection. Let's pivot to finance. The Federal Reserve. Pressure is on for a rate cut, maybe even tomorrow.
Yeah, Trump's pushing for it. Wall Street is definitely watching this one closely.
Okay, so lower rates, that sounds good for loans, right? Mortgages, cars.
It can be, yes. Cheaper borrowing. But there's always the flip side. Inflation. Cut rates too much. You risk fueling inflation, which eats away at your purchasing power. It's a balancing act.
Always. Interesting contrast, though. Over in India, the Bombay Stock Exchange, the BSE, announced a huge dividend, like 1,150%.
Yeah, quite a signal. It suggests real strength in that market. So if you happen to have investments linked to India, that could be, pretty positive news. Shows how different economies are faring right now.
Definitely. Now, back to those tariff concerns we mentioned earlier. Big companies are speaking up. Ford, for instance.
Right. They put out a warning saying Trump's potential tariffs could slash their 2025 earnings by like $1.5 billion.
Wow, and that usually means
higher prices for consumers, potentially. Yeah, for cars.
And it's not just cars. Mattel, too.
They're looking at maybe $270 million in tariff costs. So, get ready for potentially pricier toys.
Something to keep in mind for holiday shopping then, even now.
Definitely. And related to all this trade uncertainty, the Bank of England seems to be reacting, planning a rate cut.
A small one, it looks like, maybe a quarter point.
Yeah, and part of their reasoning, reportedly, is to kind of buffer the UK economy against potential fallout from U.S. trade actions.
So central banks reacting to each other, to global trade, it's all interconnected.
It really is. These decisions can ripple out and affect savings rates, investment climates, globally.
Okay, let's shift gears completely. Sports.
Yep.
Big news in the English Premier League.
Yes. Manchester City fans will be happy. Erling Haaland scored a hat-trick against Arsenal.
And that puts them back on top of the league.
It does. Reclaims the lead. Sets up a really tense finish to the season. Who's your pick for the title now?
Always tough. Okay, cricket next. The Ashes are coming up.
Always huge, especially down under. Australia's getting ready. Captain Pat Cummins is already talking it up, promising a fierce series against England.
You can feel the national pride element there, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. It's massive for Australian sports fans.
Tennis, now the U.S. Open qualifiers have started. Any names to watch?
Well, one young American getting some buzz is Francis Tiafoe. He's seen as a potential contender.
Could we see a new champion emerge this year? Always exciting.
Always possible. And sticking with champions, in cycling, Tadej Pogačar, the Tour de France winner.
He's already training hard for 2025. Wow.
Yep, aiming for a repeat. Just shows the incredible dedication needed. Who's your cycling hero? Someone who inspires you?
Good question. All right, let's move over to culture and entertainment. Wordle. Yesterday's word was macho.
Yeah, that was a bold one. 5 letters, pretty distinctive.
Did it stump you? Or
Why?
did you get it? Let us know.
I could see that one tripping people up. Now, something different, NFTs. OpenSea is embracing abstract NFTs.
Yeah, things like Final Bosu seem to be getting popular. It's apparently sparking quite a trading frenzy.
Interesting. So for anyone involved in digital art or NFTs, that shift could mean maybe growth in that space, potential value increase for digital wallets.
Worth watching if that's your area. Music news, Beabadoobie's Asia Tour for 2025. Tickets for Manila went on sale.
And apparently caused a huge rush, flooding social media like X. Big demand.
Are you hoping to catch that tour if it comes near you?
And for gamers, a new title just hit early access. Revenge of the Savage Planet.
Oh yeah. What's the vibe?
Getting praise for its humor, apparently. Exploring an alien world, kind of lighthearted. Might be fun if you need a gaming break.
Cool. Okay, let's check in on environment and science. Unfortunately, Hurricane Milton's aftermath still causing problems.
Yeah, the remnants have led to significant flooding in parts of Florida. It really strains recovery efforts, obviously.
And that can have knock-on effects, right? Like higher travel costs to the area, maybe insurance rates.
That's often the case, sadly. But on a more positive science note, there's a new AI model for climate predictions.
Well, how good is it?
Reportedly showing 90% accuracy in predicting climate impacts, which is, well, potentially huge.
How so? What's the benefit?
Better disaster preparedness, basically. Helping cities plan for floods, heat waves, whatever the changing climate throws at us, could be a really valuable tool.
That does sound promising. Space news now. China's lunar program.
Making progress. They just had a successful test of their lunar probe.
Getting closer to that 2026 moon base goal.
Seems like it. Another step forward in space exploration.
But back here on Earth, some worrying environmental news too. Arctic ice.
Yeah, it's hit record lows for this time of year, which is concerning.
Because of sea level rise.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder of the threat to coastal cities, potential changes to shorelines that could affect a lot of people.
Definitely a critical issue. Okay, finally, let's cover a few key events and human stories. The Vatican.
Right. The conclave to choose Pope Francis's successor has officially begun. Cardinals are locked in the Sistine Chapel.
A major moment for the Catholic Church and really for global faith communities watching. A new chapter beginning.
Absolutely. And closer to home, a deadline arrived today. Real ID rules.
Yes. So from today, you need a Real ID compliant driver's license or another accepted ID to fly domestically in the U.S.
That's right. So quick reminder, check your wallet. Make sure your ID is compliant before you head to the airport. Don't want to miss a flight over that.
Good practical advice. We should also mention the ongoing story of Afghan refugees.
Around 200,000 have resettled in the U.S. since the Taliban takeover in 2021.
It's important to remember their stories, their resilience in rebuilding lives in a new country. Really quite inspiring despite the circumstances.
Truly. And one last note from India, a big push in education.
Admissions are opening for the 2025 academic year.
Yeah, it's seen as a move to really empower students, highlighting the importance of education access. So for young listeners in India, what are your goals for the coming year?
That's your world in 10 minutes with Swift News. The world in 10 minutes. From trade talks to conclaves, terrace to Wordle, we've got you covered.
Follow us for daily updates. Join us tomorrow for episode 6.
Stay curious, stay informed. This is Swift News, signing off.